Okay, so picture this. The stage lights are just, blinding. The air is thick. It's November 2025. Elle Magazine's Women in Hollywood event.
Right.
And Teyana Taylor steps onto that stage. Now, the spotlight was supposed to be on her style, on the fashion. But instead, she just turns it right around, points it directly at the industry itself. She didn't just ask for a seat at the table. It was more like a demand. She said, we have to show who we are as women to be respected in that space.
And that was the moment. You could almost feel Hollywood just stop and listen. This wasn't another celebrity soundbite about, representation. This was something different.
Welcome to Starscope Report. We're your guides, and we're here to dive deep into the cultural manifestos, the industry shakeups, and all the viral moments that are shaping our world.
And today we are absolutely dissecting Teyana Taylor's, no-holds-barred manifesto against the entertainment business. We're going to break down the impossible rules she exposed, that powerful village she leans on, and what all of this really means for anyone trying to make it in a man's world.
Let's start with her basic diagnosis, which, it immediately blew up into this massive headline. Hollywood is a man's world, but being a black woman is even harder.
The context here is just so important. It was part of Elle's 2025 Women in Hollywood series, and she started by just stating the obvious, a structural baseline. She said, I do feel like this is a man's world.
Okay, so that's the starting point, the foundational playing field.
That's the foundation everyone's on. But then, almost in the same breath, she adds this crucial layer.
Right, she didn't just leave it at sexism, she got more specific.
Way more specific. She made it so clear that while sexism is hard for everyone, the hardest part is when you add race into the mix. She literally said being a woman is the hardest part, but being a black woman is the even harder part.
So she's forcing the audience to see that these disadvantages, they don't just add up, they multiply.
They multiply, exactly. It's intersectionality in action. And that really brings us back to her main point, this whole idea of respect.
The idea that black identity, black talent, it isn't just assumed to be valuable. Is that what she's getting at?
If that's it, exactly. When she says respect must be shown, she's really saying it's this constant mandatory performance you have to put on just to be seen as a professional.
Wait, okay, so this idea of compulsory demand on the marginalized. Can you, break that down for us?
Of course. Think about it like this. Respect isn't just given to you when you walk in the door. You have to actively, and I mean exhaustingly, earn it every single day.
Wow.
The whole system puts the burden of proof on the black woman to constantly prove she's worthy to an industry that's kind of built to doubt her in the first place. It's like a permanent job interview.
That constant performance. That sounds not just exhausting, but really precarious. So why is it so dangerous? Well, because Taylor then exposed that the system has this other trick up its sleeve.
The trap.
The trap. A set of contradictory demands. We're going to break down that impossible double bind next. And look, if you appreciate getting inside the hidden rules of Hollywood, you have to be subscribed to Starscope Report. We have so many more industry insights coming up.
Okay, let's get into it. The paradox of performance. The impossible rules designed to ensure failure.
This is the part that I saw everywhere on social media. It felt like everyone who's ever felt those conflicting pressures, they finally have the words for it. So what exactly is this double bind she's talking about?
To put it simply, the double bind is a trap. It's a lose-lose situation. You're given two contradictory expectations, and no matter which one you choose, you're told you failed.
So it's a game of heads I win, tails you lose.
Precisely. And it's not a bug in the system, it's a feature. It's a design mechanism for control.
So the industry creates a world where the woman is always the problem. And Teyana, she laid out 4 specific ways this happens. Let's talk about the first 2, the ones about speaking up versus staying quiet.
Right. First up, confidence versus aggression. She said, when we are at that level of confidence, we're told that we're too loud. The second you advocate for yourself, you're not confident anymore. You're suddenly aggressive or difficult.
And the flip side is just as bad, silence versus complicity. She said, when we say nothing at all, we're told that we need to stand up.
No winning.
No winning lane at all. You're either a loud problem for speaking or you're a quiet disappointment for not speaking. It's just impossible.
Then she gets into professional relationships, the third paradox. Loyalty versus weakness. We stay, we're weak. So if you stick it out in a bad situation, maybe try to be loyal, you're seen as exploitable, like you don't have any ambition.
But then, and this is the one that really gets me, the fourth one, agency versus disruption.
Yeah.
We're the problem.
Yeah.
If you finally decide to leave that toxic place for your own health, for your career, you get blamed for disrupting the project. Not the toxic environment, you.
And that's the insidious genius of it all. The focus is always shifted away from the industry's failure, from the fact that it created these toxic conditions in the first place.
Right.
And it's put right back onto the woman's, perceived behavioral failure. The system makes you think the failure is yours.
Which totally explains why she was so inspired by her character, Perfidia. She described her as unapologetically herself. That character must be like the symbol of breaking free from these rules.
Exactly. Perfidia is the answer to the double bind. She's the proof that you can just exist without compromise.
So if every move you make is wrong, how do you fight back? Teyana's answer isn't to navigate the trap, it's to stomp right through it in some pretty iconic shoes. We'll get into her unapologetic insurgency and the village that backs her up right after this. Welcome back to Starscope Report. We're talking about Teyana Taylor's masterclass in calling out systemic sexism and racism, and her final answer to the industry's traps, unapologetic insurgency, how the village enables the fight.
Her whole strategy, it's not about quiet diplomacy. It's not asking for inclusion. It's forceful rejection. She said, I think it's because we're busting through the doors unapologetically, us. She calls it a politics of presence.
So she's not waiting for permission.
Not at all. That's not asking for a seat at the table. That's building a whole new house and walking right in. She put it so bluntly. We're not giving anybody a choice. You will see us and you will hear us, and if you don't, we're going to make you.
I mean, that is the language of someone who has just seized her own power.
And that unapologetic stance is the perfect antidote to the double bind, right? Because the double bind wants you to apologize, to explain yourself, and she's just refusing.
She celebrated it, too. She said, seeing women step into our glory and standing 10 toes down in some red bottoms has been amazing.
Love that quote.
But you can't stand 10 toes down if you don't have a safety net. And that's why she made such a huge point about the critical infrastructure she relies on, her village.
Oh, this is maybe the most important part. That network is essential for survival. It's the emotional and material support you need to fight a system that's trying to wear you down. And the names she dropped, I mean, it is a powerhouse list.
It's an all-star team. Taraji P. Henson, Sarah Paulson, Niecy Nash.
Issa Rae, Kerry Washington, Regina Hall.
It's a political alliance. And she described their support as just immediate. To be able to call on my village and then they all show up in a heartbeat, no hesitation, feels good. She called it a comforting hug.
That solidarity is the fuel. It's what makes the insurgency possible. And this all leads back to why Teyana herself is such a threat to the old guard.
How so?
Because she refuses to be put into one box. That's the industry's main way of controlling people. But she's not just an actress. She's a singer, a choreographer, and now a director with Get Light.
So that's her putting the theory into practice. By doing it all, by refusing to be limited, she stops the industry from being able to define her worth on its terms.
And her ambition to be a big director, that's the ultimate power move. She's seizing control of the narrative, of the camera, of the gaze. She's demanding respect as an authority, not just as a performer in front of the camera.
What Teyana Taylor delivered here was just a masterclass. And it landed so hard that major media outlets were just using her exact words for their headlines. She's not just talking about a cultural shift, she's actively accelerating it.
Yeah, she really is.
But the bottom line, really, for all of us, is that change isn't happening because Hollywood had a change of heart. It's happening because of the active strategic insurgency of women who are just rejecting the systems designed to break them. If you want to stay ahead of these cultural waves, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button.
She's forcing the industry to see her as an authority, a creator, a director, and she's taking the respect that the system would otherwise deny her.
So it leaves you with this question, right? What happens when that unapologetic stance, busting through the doors in red bottoms, becomes the industry standard, and not just a rare act of resistance? That's the question Teyana Taylor leaves us with. And it's the cultural shift we're going to keep tracking right here.
A powerful thought to end on.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.